Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would speak about my experience driving for Uber Eats. If that sounds like something you're interested, then keep on watching. Okay, so let's start with what it's like. Okay, first of all, you get to choose a schedule, which of course is extremely convenient because you work whenever you want. So that basically means if you wake up in the mood to work, you go online and you start working. If later you decide you don't feel like it anymore, you just go offline. It's that easy. So it's whenever you feel like working, you do, and whenever you don't, you don't. Okay, another thing, you never know where you'll end up. Basically, one day I started in Homestead and I ended up all the way in Kendall. So that was extremely unexpected. I don't think they have the same limitations as other companies when it's directly with the company doing deliveries. So with this, it's a bigger window of distance. So there's that. So keep that in mind. Another time I started in Pinecrest and I ended up all the way in Hialeah. That was an extreme shock because, you know, it just seems so far-fetched, but that will happen. So please keep in mind that it's not as simple as staying in an area. You just don't know where it's going to send you. It'll let you know obviously once you take the order, but keep that in mind. Just don't know where you're going to end up. What else? Okay, gas is an investment for obvious reasons. With this, it's not like you go to a building, stay there for 8 hours and then go home, obviously. So with this, you're going to be driving back and forth. So it depends obviously on the efficiency of your vehicle. And then, you'll be able to, I guess I would say, like if you are in this or if you're thinking about starting, like for the first week, I would definitely start with a full tank and then see, like, if you had to put in gas once, if you had to put in twice. Obviously, it's going to depend also on how many hours you work. Some people work towards a goal, like let's say 80 a day, maybe others have $50 a day. So it just depends on your goal, the gas efficiency of your car, and obviously how much gas is where you live. Like where I live, it's not too expensive, so there's that, but in every place it's something different. What else? Sub addresses are extremely complicated, basically, like, let's say you, are in this neighborhood and then they'll have, like, let's say to make it easy, like, I don't know, the houses will be like, you're expecting it to be 1 through 10 on the same block, right? But then you'll get there, for example, and you'll get the number 1 house. And then that block will for some reason, it'll start like from 2 to 10, something like that. So then you'll be thinking, okay, so where the heck do I find 1? So keep that in mind, that just because you think it's going to be there numerically doesn't mean it's going to be there numerically. And sometimes you'll be going around in circles looking for address. So keep that in mind. And what else? In some places, you'll have to go to a gate, sometimes hand your ID. And, it's a little bit, I guess, awkward, but obviously they're doing it for the safety of the people who live there. So that's understandable. So just keep that in mind. This way you're not shocked when you go to a gate with your order and they're telling you like, okay, we need to see your ID or something like that, or get your license plate. So, just keep that in mind. Oh, and this is something that I've actually, I'm not sure why the camera keeps doing that. I've actually had this issue, like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times. And it always seems to be like the Dayland area for some odd reason. Like, there are buildings there that they're not too high, obviously, because, it's Florida, but they'll be, kind of high. And then you'll be like walking around the building with the order, but then you don't see any main entrance. It's not as easy as those buildings where there's, stairs, glass door, you walk in, maybe there's like an intercom or, I don't know, just somebody you could see, like some sort of office maybe, that you could say, okay, I need to deliver this. How would I do that? So some buildings, like the entrance, it's very, very hidden. So unless you live there or you visit someone who lives there, you're not going to know where it is. And the sad thing is that often those complicated buildings are the same ones that'll put leave at door. So, there's always that. And then sometimes when you call the customers, mind you, not telling them to meet you at the door, because if they chose leave at door, you're not asking them to meet you. You're simply asking them how to get there. So then, you speak to the customer, they'll explain to you. And then when this happens, more often times than not, they're going to be there. And then what happens after you go hand them their food and think it's all good, what they'll do is they'll complain stating that you were supposed to leave it at their door. So there's that. I'm not sure why they do that, but some people, they just like to do that. So keep that in mind. Even if you do provide good service, sometimes they will still complain. It's part of the job when you work, with others. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what else, because I had to write it down because I didn't want to forget anything, because there's just so many things that you experience. So yeah, and then sometimes when you, do go, in the elevator and go upstairs, and it'll be like a maze sometimes when you go to these buildings that it kind of feels like you're in a horror movie. So, that's kind of odd, but it happens. And then, in some cases, what else happens to me, a couple of times, they'll choose, for example, leave at door. So you're thinking, okay, no problem. You get there, you take your picture. But here's the thing. When they choose leave at door, the way they do it is you put it there, in the best place that you could possibly put it, next to their door, and you take a picture as proof that you did in fact deliver it. However, if somebody walks over there, then, you're going to have that awkward moment of, okay, please let me take a picture of this because, it's asking me in the app. So there's that. So make sure you always, even if they still greet you, when they chose leave at door, make sure you still have proof. That's extremely important. Oh, and another thing that happens is a lot of times they'll, something that they do a lot, I'm not sure why it is, they'll arrive there without a mask. So I'm not sure why exactly that is, but, this has happened to me on more than one occasion. It's almost like they forget that there's a pandemic or something. I don't know, but that does tend to happen. So keep that in mind if you are thinking of taking a job. Some people will show up with not a mask in sight. What else? And yeah, like I remember this one thing that happened to me once. I had called a customer, because it was one of those hidden entrances. There was absolutely no main entrance. And, at the time you have the customer's food, you don't want to be going around in circles, because the longer you take, obviously, the worse it looks on you. So you're thinking, okay, no problem. I'll just call and ask them what is the quickest way to get inside their building, right? But mind you, not asking them to meet you outside. So make sure you remember that part. So one time I had called this lady, I explained to her the situation that I did not know how to get in the building because there was no main entrance. There was just an area where cars would go into this, like, what is it called? I guess those parking lots that they almost look like they're underground, that type of thing. So I'm looking around thinking, okay, that's not in the area that I'm going because I'm not a resident. So I had to call her just to ask where me as a visitor would go inside. So then she explained to me, oh yeah, you just take the elevator that's in this like gray area, and then once you go upstairs, you turn here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. Thank you very much for your help. But here's the thing. As I was there following her directions, she was outside in the hallway, So I'm like, okay. And I explained to her that because she chose leave at door, I had to take a picture. So I went, took the picture, gave it to her, and then sometime later I had received, a complaint stating, oh, well, here's how to navigate leave at door. So keep that in mind. She chose to meet up with me after she put in the app leave at door and then turned around and complained. So, just putting that out there because, like I said, some just like to complain. It's all part of the job, unfortunately. And, then let me see, I think the hottest experience I had actually was a customer who, he was once again in one of those buildings where there is no main entrance. There's just nowhere that you could just walk in, no office area, nothing like that, right? So at this point I had called, already used to this situation, text, let them know like, hey, I just need to know how to get in the building so I could drop off your food. Mind you, time passed, the customer never got back to me. So even though I called several times, several texts, nada. And, so when this happens, which I think it is a rare occasion, but, things happen, obviously. So in this situation, obviously what you want to do is you let customer service know right away that, you're doing everything that you can. But obviously if the customer is in a situation where you can't get to them, guess what? You can't get to them. And then, the odd thing about it is, of course, these kind of entrances where, that they're basically hidden away or something like that, I've noticed that they always pick leave at door function. So there's that. But, unfortunately, you can't leave at the door if you can't get in the building. So that's one thing that, I wish didn't happen, but it does every now and then. So just putting it out there so you're not surprised. Let the customer, call obviously on your app. Let them know exactly what's going on. When I called, it was, it's just a lot of running around, I guess, call to let them know, but I wasn't given like a straight answer. It was more of like, oh, okay, sorry that happened. We're going to transfer you to a specialist. They transferred me. I just stayed there on hold. Absolutely nothing happened. Call got dropped. Called again. I think my call got dropped, I don't know, at least 3 times or something. Spoke to somebody, explained to them, hey, the call's been getting dropped. I just need to know what I'm supposed to do with these 2 soups. It's a simple question that I wish they would have just had an answer and just told me, okay, this is what you do. But I never really even got to that point, because at that point, I think my phone was like very low on battery because all the calling back and forth. And at that point, I was just like, okay, I'm done with this. If they can't give me an answer, then there's really nothing I can do. The customer is not answering, and they can't give me a simple answer as to what happened. So, there's that. Hopefully, they'll get that sorted out so it doesn't happen often. But I just wanted to put that out there that every now and then that may happen. I mean, gosh, another time I had actually driven to the Palms shopping center. And right when I was getting there, mind you, the restaurant that I was picking an order in was there, and as I was already inside there, they actually canceled. So imagine driving all the way to the area to pick up order just to have them cancel. That can happen. That's already happened to me once. But luckily, it was a very busy order. They understand, obviously, it's the customer that canceled. It's not on me. So then, a short time later, I was actually able to get from a different restaurant area, and then that ended up being much better than the order that I missed out on. So sometimes, one door gets closed and an even better one gets open. So keep that in mind. Another thing, let me see. I just hope I'm not forgetting anything. So yeah, another thing, something as simple as knocking on the door, unless it says on the, the customer orders to knock on door, I don't recommend doing it, because something as simple as knocking on the door, that can, get them to complain like, oh my gosh, they knocked on my door, how dare they? I specifically put leave at door. So something that for someone else isn't a big deal. Someone like me, for example, will think, great, they knocked on the door. That means I know my order's there. That's awesome. But other people will be like, okay, you just disturbed my house. You woke up my grandma. You got my dog riled up. For them, it can be a disturbance. So please, if it doesn't say knock, keep that in mind. If you do knock, they may get upset and complain against you. So keep that in mind. Yeah, and I think that's, that's pretty much it for now. Yeah, that's a lot, but I've been doing this for some time now, since November, and it's been a great experience, not gonna lie. It's rare that you find a job that you enjoy doing, and I actually enjoy doing this. To me, it just doesn't feel like work. Like I said, it's not for everyone, obviously, because maybe not everybody is comfortable going back and forth driving, but for me, I really do like it. It's one of those things that sometimes on my day off, I'm just thinking like, I can't wait to get back to work, which obviously I can't do that, because that's the way it is in that app. If you are bored one day, you're like, nah, I don't need to have the day off. You can just, go back. So keep that in mind. It is, like, for me, I like it so much, and I've gone to so many different places. I even once saw some beautiful horses as I was dropping off an order. So all in all, I really, really enjoy it. Like I said, I haven't had a job that I've enjoyed this much in years. So I guess I'll end it there. I don't want it to drag on forever, but if you drive for Uber Eats, let me know what's your favorite part of the job, or maybe the parts of the job that you wish you could change. As always, thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Happy driving. Bye.